Hello, everyone. I hope everyone is having a great evening. We are here live tonight. I am going to talk about life insurance because September, not only is it my birthday month, it's Life Insurance Awareness Month. So if you are here and you are listening to the sound of my voice, go ahead and tell me in the chat, tell me a hello in the chat. Let me know that you're here. Okay, I see you, Christine. Hi. Let me know that you're here. If you are listening to the replay, please go ahead and put a pound replay in the comments so that I know that you were here, that you were listening. Okay, so what are we going to talk about tonight? We're going to talk about life insurance. As I mentioned, September is Life Insurance Awareness Month. It's a beautiful month, right? It's my birthday month. I'm excited. So we're going to talk about life insurance and how important it is and why it's important to have it, right? Why should we have life insurance? What's the big deal? Well, it is really a big deal, and that's why I'm here today. So in my prior life, I used to have a life insurance license, right? I used to be a financial advisor where I could go ahead and sell life insurance. But now I kind of let my license lapse, so I don't, have insurance licenses anymore. I'm not licensed to sell insurance, but as a financial coach, I would not be doing my job if I didn't come on here and let you know of the importance of life insurance during Life Insurance Awareness Month. I usually tell my clients this. Life insurance is really important. If you have anyone who depends on your income, it's very important for you to be able to have life insurance so that you can have your people provided for. And so essentially, if we break down what life insurance is really just a contract, right, between insurer and a policy owner. And that's basically what it is, so that you can pay certain death benefits at the end of the month. Hello, Rebecca. Thanks for joining. Hi. On Restream, sometimes you can't see the names depending on which site, but let me know your name if you come in here, and let me know that you're here. All right. So life insurance, very important. So there are a couple of different types of life insurances, right? So you'll hear often the term insurance, and then you might hear whole life insurance. So term insurance is just like the name implies, right? You have the insurance, it's for a limited period of time. Maybe you're going to get the insurance, you're a young couple, you want to get insurance for your kids at least through the period while they're young. If something happens to you until they get to adulthood. So let's say you have a 5-year-old and you want to get, insurance for, another 13 years until they're 18 or 21, whatever you want to do, you get it for that shorter time period. And sometimes you can actually renew the term life insurance once the term is over. But a lot of times that insurance will be a little bit more affordable than whole life insurance because it's for that limited period of time, right? So when you're looking at a limited, period of time, it's term. Sometimes it's much less expensive. And, as my old company used to say, where I used to have my life insurance license, is that you can invest in term insurance. You can invest in term insurance, and then whatever the difference is in cost that it would cost you if you were in a whole life insurance, invest the difference. So you can save money on term, but use the difference that you would save to invest in the stock market and grow your money. The other type of insurance is whole life insurance, right? So this is one that's a little bit more expensive. You pay a premium, but you have, cash value, right? So your money could be available to you, what you actually put in there, and it pays a death benefit, when the person dies, as long as you keep on paying your premiums and you have cash value. So those are the two different types of insurances. Now, how do you determine what you need to get, what you want, what you need to have? Is you need to make an assessment. You need to make a financial assessment. You need to look at your current standard of living. You need to understand, who you need to have as your beneficiaries, right? Who you're providing for. And the example that I gave earlier If you are providing for kids, it's a certain period of time. You need to know how much money you have. If you're like a dual couple, one of you is working and is the main breadwinner, the other one's not working, maybe you want to provide enough so that, hey, if something happens to you, the person who's not the breadwinner has, income for a period of time. Maybe you want to pay off a house, right? If you die and you leave a house to your beneficiaries, you want to be able to have enough to pay off the house so that they're not worrying about a mortgage, substituting for your income. Or if you have student loans, right? You're a student, you're a parent, you got student loans for your child, and when you've got the student loans for your child, the child's growing up, becomes an adult, you might want to leave some life insurance to cover those student loans that you got saddled with because of your child and your choice. So at the end of the day, you want to make an assessment and understand how much insurance you would actually need if something were to happen. Because in making that assessment, that will determine, how much insurance you can actually afford and what type of policy you want. If you want a term policy, if you want a whole life policy. Now, a lot of times when you're looking at insurance, it's also important, I'm going to tell you, to look at the financial strength of the life insurance company that's actually issuing the insurance. So there are different ways to find ratings. They're called AM Best ratings of life insurance companies, but a lot of them are reputable and have good ratings. But you got to be careful that you don't just get any old life insurance provider, because that makes a difference as well in their ability to be able to pay the life insurance. Now, the good part about this is that when, let's say, somebody dies and they have a life insurance policy for you and you are the beneficiary, you get that tax-free. So that's a good thing, that you don't have to worry about Uncle Sam and taxes if you are the beneficiary of a life insurance policy, because if you are, that means that you lost someone who was dear to you potentially, and you don't want to be in that potential situation. And so that's a tax-free benefit. So that's a plus. The next thing is what actually affects the premiums that you pay, right? So we talked about term being a policy over a period of time that's cheaper than a whole life insurance. But there are other factors, regardless of the insurance that you're taking, that affect, how much of a premium you're going to pay. So there are factors like how old you are, right? So somebody who's in their 20s is going to get a life insurance policy that's cheaper than, I would. How old you are affects it. Your health, right? Are you in good health, or do you have some chronic issue? If you have a chronic health issue, that could affect your premiums. Your premiums are going to be higher. Are you a smoker? Smoker is usually like a no-go. Smoker, that's definitely going to affect the cost if you are a smoker. Your gender will tend to affect the cost as well, male or female. Women have, a longer life expectancy. That can affect it. Your lifestyle. If you are somebody who works in a very dangerous job, that will affect your premium. Your family medical history, that also affects your premium. If you have, family medical history of chronic illnesses or serious illnesses, then that can be considered as well. And things to a certain lesser extent is your driving record, right? If you have a history of drunk driving, that'll affect your life insurance premiums. So there are a number of things that affect your life insurance premiums. There are a number of things that you need to consider when you're choosing a life insurance policy. But what I do want to tell you is it's very, very important for you to have life insurance. You don't want to be in a situation where if you could get life insurance for an affordable price, and sometimes the term life insurance policies are very, very affordable, right? So you get insurance for something like your car. Why not get insurance? You don't want to be in that situation where, hey, that life insurance benefit has to kick in. That means you died or somebody else died, but you want to be in that position where if something happens, your loved ones are protected. If something happens, you know that they're provided for and that finances don't have to be a worry, at least for the time period where they can't fend for themselves. Yes, GoFundMe is not the ideal insurance situation. Absolutely. GoFundMe is a zero as far as, life insurance situation. And I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen where, death has happened unexpectedly. You hear about it all the time. These young people that, were fine, wake up one day, have a heart attack, they're in their 40s, and they didn't have life insurance. And then their families end up having to scramble because they don't have life insurance, and they have to revisit their whole life, their whole lifestyle, because they weren't expecting that the major breadwinner would have passed away, or somebody that contributed to their family financially would have passed away. So that being said, I encourage you to get with a good financial advisor who can provide you with a good life insurance policy. I mean, the company that I used to work with or was a financial advisor for, they have good agents that have good life insurance policies. My current life insurance policy is with them, Primerica Financial Services. It's a term life insurance policy, but there are a number of things that you can do with a whole life insurance policy. So it depends on what your financial situation is and what you want to do. There's been a lot of conversation about, building wealth, using whole life insurance policy and being able to fund certain things. But that's a whole, different discussion. But whichever route you decide to go, whether term or whole life, make sure you understand what the differences are and make sure that you get the adequate coverage for your family, because that's the most important thing. You want to make sure that you have the coverage for your family, that your loved ones are protected. All right. Do you guys have any questions on life insurance in the chat? I think we've covered everything in terms of how to assess how much you need, where you can get it, how to evaluate that, and the factors that actually affect your insurance premiums. Thoughts on getting separate policy if you've got separate coverage through an employer? I would definitely get a separate policy. I mean, the coverage through your employer is good. I mean, that's kind of, for me, gravy on top. But you also have to factor in your total costs, right? What you're going to need. Because sometimes your employer gives you maybe $50K, maybe they'll give you 1 time your salary, or up to a certain level. So it depends on what your employer is providing. And it also depends on who you have, right? Who you have that's dependent on your income, right? Because if you die and your employer gives you $40K, is that going to be enough for the people that, depend on your income? So a separate policy is fine, especially if your employer coverage is not going to meet the needs for a long time. And usually they typically don't, because they offer you a limited amount. All right. No question, but wanted to mention that folks being underinsured is nearly an epidemic. Absolutely. I have to agree with that, 200%, because people go out there, they're not insured, and then things happen and they realize that, hey, it's important. But by the time they realize that, it's too late. And yes, it is an epidemic that, we need that coverage. We need to realize that life insurance is very, very important, because it makes a difference in the outcome for the people that you leave behind. It makes a difference, if you leave that child behind, right, and you leave them with nothing, and you say, okay, Auntie Grace is going to take care of them, and Auntie Grace doesn't have any money, that doesn't help. And that doesn't help establish a pillar for generational wealth for that kid, because then they'll have nothing. So at the end of the day, you really have to be aware of your life insurance needs and making sure that you have life insurance. Because if you don't have a life insurance, a lot of times people say, oh, well, it's too expensive, I can't afford it. You can afford to insure your car. You can afford life insurance. Find a way to get coverage for the people that you love and the people that depend on you. Okay? All right. So that was Life Insurance Awareness Month. But I do also want to talk a little bit about my new investing circle. So I have, yes, you can't afford not to have it. I agree 200%. You can't afford not to have life insurance. So, on that note, we talked about life insurance, but I also do want to let you know about my Empowered Women's Investing Circle. So, essentially, that's a membership. I've been talking about it all month, and it's finally here. I've launched it. It's a membership for women only, powerhouse women, essentially. And what we're going to be doing is talking about different investment um, vehicles. Please note that I am not an investment advisor. I cannot give financial advice. I'm not giving investment advice in this circle, but it's a forum for us as women to get together and learn more about different opportunities to invest in the stock market, to share our investment ideas, to talk about different things in our portfolio, and to become more knowledgeable, right? Because becoming knowledge is power, and being able to come together as a group of unified, like-minded women is very important. So I have put in the notes to this particular live the details and the link to sign up for the program. We are starting, and our first session is going to be in the first week of October, the kickoff session. Yes, it's a great way to kick off my birthday. I'm excited. For those of you who don't know, my birthday is tomorrow. So I'm excited. We're ending September with a bang. I've launched this membership. The membership is $97 a month. It's a great way to come in. You're sure to definitely make your money back, because we're going to talk about, ways to fast track our money growth and talk about different investing ideas. And it's a forum that if you don't have a lot of experience investing, you can come in and learn. If you have a lot of, thank you for the birthday wishes. If you have a lot of experience investing, that's also great. You can come in and we can learn from each other and trade ideas and get ourselves a little bit more wealthier. And that's the notion, right? To do it in a safe space where we can learn and communicate with each other and get to know each other. All right, everybody. I hope that everybody enjoyed this live. If you have any questions, you know where to reach me. Reach me in the DMs. And remember, life insurance is important. And September is Life Insurance Awareness Month. I want everybody to be aware that there is a need for life insurance. If you don't have it, go out and get it. Thank you, everybody. Good night.